you touched on and I'm paraphrasing, the Hindu and Brahma origins of Hebrew thought. I think I've got that right. Can you expand a bit more about that?
Yeah, I can. There are, when you go to classical records, not contemporary records, let's talk about Josephus. When you look at the works of Josephus, chapter 10:8, you see in the works of Josephus that he says that the original Hebrews came from the Indus Valley. When you go to Tacchius, when you go to Brodicus, when Tacchius said that the Jews, their history says that they were Ethiopians. You've seen this before. J.A. Rogers, Autumn says that. But when we see the word Ethiopian, we think automatically what we see in Ethiopia today. But if you go to Herodotus or Herodotus, there were two Ethiopians, Western Ethiopians and Eastern Ethiopians. The Western Ethiopians is everything west of the Nile. Eastern Ethiopians is what we know as Indus Kush or Indus Kowash. That, or what we know as the Indus Valley pushing into Mesopotamia. So when it talks about the Jews, or better yet, correctly, the Israelites from the tribe of Judah being descendant of the Ethiopians, it's talking about the Indus Valley sages that came from out of Indus Kush. That's what that's talking about. All the classical writers, including the Bible, says that the Hebrews came from the Indus Valley. Genesis 11 says that we came from the Indus Valley. It uses the word east in Hebrew for the Indus Valley is Kadim. You also go to the 26th chapter of Bereshit or Genesis, you will see Abraham's concubines and his children from these concubines going back to the Indus Valley. When you see Solomon and all them grabbing peacocks and gorillas and chimps and all that, they was getting it from the Indus Valley. Even when you look at the story of Xerxes in the book of not Judith, Esther. When you go to the book of Esther, don't it say that Xerxes ruled 127 provinces from India all the way to Ethiopia? So now he's talking about from Eastern Ethiopia to Western Ethiopia, that Xerxes ruled these 127 provinces. Even when you look at the Chaldeian pantheon, look at it carefully and look at the Hinduic pantheon. It's the same pantheon. When you look at how the calf Hathor was revealed in Kemet, we're people on this planet today. They're the only people on this planet that look at the cow as being sacred. And they have these ritualistic ceremonies are the Hindus. If you look at the Hindu culture and way of life, they absorb the gods of nations that are around them. They never shun them. They embrace them. That's the same thing with Kemet did. Kemet was known for having their own cosmology and cosmology, but they also adopted certain cosmologies amongst the surrounding nations, whether you're talking Nubia, whether you're talking about the Anu, which are nothing but the Twas. You see what I'm saying? The culture of the people of Bess. It's a combination. Just as you see America today, it's this melting pot and conglomerate of all these confederacies of nations within one nation. That's how ancient Kemet was. The point that I'm saying about the Hindu and Abraham, there are records from the Hindus that teach about Abraham being an ex-Brahmin. By nationality, he was Hebrew, yes, but the records show that he was from a Hebrew clan known as the Yadavas. Many of the Yadavas lived in southern Tamil and Harapparia. Harapparia, Harabu, Harapu, Hebrew, these are all the same words going to the root word Eber. So we see the Indus Valley records. We see, as a matter of fact, let me pull it out for you real quick. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. I got it. Okay. So the name of the book that I'm coming from out of, and this is scholarly, so it's not like, it's called Ancient India, a textbook of class 11. Here it is right here, so y'all can see it. It's right there. Okay. And before I read what it says from out the text, I got it. So I say it looks like I was right the whole time. There was an ancient war in the southern Indus Valley going back between 7,500 to 4,500 BCE, before the one in Mesopotamia from the 7th century BCE. The ore that Abraham the Hebrew from the Yadava tribe came from was from out of the Indus Valley, not Mesopotamia. Watch this. Also, page 389 from out of Sir Godfrey Higgins' masterpiece book, ANACALYPSIS. Sir Godfrey Higgins states the following, but Mr. Bryant says, Sar, which was formed Sufu, signifying the sun. It was the same as Sihar of Egypt, called Siarfood by the Greeks. The city of Ur in Chaldea was sometimes called Sor. And Sicelus says Abraham was born in the city of Ur. Stevenus says Ur was common to many places. From this, it seems that Abraham may have come from an Oriental Ur. ANACALYPSIS, volume 3, page 446. There was a district in India called Ur on the Jumna, which we shall find was the place from which Abraham came. When Alexander says that the Hippoponenid priests made use of the astrology of Abraham, it is the same as to say the astrology of the Brahmins. So then when you go into this piece right here, it reads, in this period, we come across 3 types of villages in South India. 1, Ur. Sabha and Magara. Ur was the usual type of village inhabited by peasant castes who perhaps held their land in common. It was the responsibility of the village people of Ur and the herdsmen to collect and pay taxes on their behalf. These villages were mainly found in southern Tamil Nadu. So I just gave a primary source from Indian scholars, not no crackpot. That's a primary source that's used in the academic world that has been peer reviewed. And they're saying that there is an older ore that come from out of the Indus Valley, going back between 7,500 BCE to 4,500 BCE. I also use Sir Godfrey Higgins' book, ANACALYPSIS, to verify what I'm saying. So that being the case, then that means that there were major Indus Valley influences on Abraham and the Hebrews. And you can clearly see it in the Tanakh when we deal with it in a comparative study. So I hope I answered your question.
Prince Shar Lan'diin, thank you.
Absolutely.